Going on, everybody? I'm John. This is Motor City RC Attack. I want to say thanks for tuning in. Uh, you know, during these months, especially here in the northern states, we get all the snow. We like to go run our RC cars in the snow. Of course, what does the snow do to our bearings? You guessed it. You got to oil them all the time. Otherwise, they get squeaky, they get rusty, and they're going to end up seizing up. If you don't, you're going to have to replace them. Bearings aren't that expensive, but you know how these cars are. They will nickel and dime you to death. So I got a little idea here. I was sitting here actually oiling the bearings on my Kraton. The only reason I was doing that is because I broke an axle the other day, and I had to get the axle out because I've got to go pick up a new one here in a little bit. But I came up with an idea, kind of a little hack. I don't know if anybody's ever tried this, but I'm going to show you this, and maybe try it out too. We're going to give it a try and see if it helps. So I'm going to take the tire off here. I actually had this one off just a minute ago because I broke this axle yesterday, sheared the end of it right off, driving up and down my street. But I thought about this because I noticed my bearings were squeaking, running in the snow, the bearings got some rust on them. Actually, give me that tire, I'll set that over here. So I was thinking of a way to kind of help combat the whole bearings getting chewed up, or not chewed up, but getting rusty and squeaky from the snow. And I came up with an idea. I don't know if maybe you guys have done this before, maybe not, but I thought of something. Take this axle out, and you got your bearings here. Now I did just re-grease these, because like I said, I just had this, oh, dropped apart. I just had this apart so I could take that axle out, and I re-greased this, and then I thought of something. Go like this. We're going to get the front bearing out of there. Pop that guy right there out. So you got that hole. Now, let me put my little axle back together here so I don't lose any pieces until I get my new dog bone later on today. Now, I called the hobby shop to ask them if they had one in stock. The guy asked me the part number. I should know this part number by heart because I had to buy enough of these things, and of course I couldn't remember it, but good thing is he's got one in stock. So what you want to do, I'm going to take that bearing out. I just got some of this disc and drum brake high temperature wheel bearing grease. I'm going to take a little bit of this, like this. Don't need a lot, just a little blob. You know what? We're going to do it like this. We're going to pull the back bearing out too. Get that guy out of there. Take this little bit of grease, kind of put it in there, kind of move it around the edges a little bit, like so. That way, nice and greased in there. Get a little bit more in there. Can't hurt. Do like that. Of course, have something to wipe your finger off because this grease right here will get everywhere. And slide your rear bearing back into place, because these bearings, you notice they fit really tight in here. And they fit in there pretty good, and I'm guessing that snow and water would be able to get in there and kind of be trapped. So then you take your axle here. Imagine you had the dog bone on there. You slide it through, get it seated in there. Take your outer bearing, which I've already greased or oiled, put that there, like that, and then, imagine the dog bone was in there again. Don't let my busted truck fool you. Get this back together. that. Slide your little pin in there. Oh, no, not yet. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Slide your hub back on, your hex hub. Get your pin set in there. See, where is it? There it is. Put the tire back on. Let's see, because I don't have an axle on there. There it goes. Okay. And now you've got that grease in there, which will help keep the water away from the back side of the bearings. And tighten her down. And it will help to keep the bearings oiled while you're out, especially during the winter months when you're out bashing around in the snow. It'll help you from having to oil your bearings constantly. You know, because I mean, there's times when there's snow out here, and I'll go out here and I'll run the truck 2, 3, 4 days in a row in the snow. And I don't want to go after every day. I don't want to have to go and take all the axles apart and, you know, clean them all out, re-oil the bearings. You do that, and then most you got to do is maybe take your tires off at the end of the day, put a little oil on the outer sides of the bearings. The inside, you got that grease in there. Now, like I said, that's axle bearing grease. It's really thick, but you got to figure there's going to be some heat that builds up in there, so that stuff will get flung around, and it'll be a little less thick once the heat gets to it, but it'll keep your bearings greased up. I just thought of that. Like I said, I don't know if anybody else does that, but it's a little hack to do. I mean, you can really do it on any vehicle. You know, that's on my Creighton. This one's going to get it next, even though I just put brand new wheel bearings in this. I got Fast Eddie wheel bearings in this all the way around, but I'm going to do it on that next, and I'm going to do it on this guy. I'm going to let this guy sit on. I'm going to let this guy sit on the shelf when it's stored, because these tires on this are so soft that they will flat spot. But so yeah, pack a little bit of wheel bearing grease in there, and it'll help to combat the rusty, squeaky bearings while running your cars in the winter. See this cool little bar I put on here yesterday? Free mod. There's a black plastic coat hanger. I used my heat gun. I heated it up, bent it, drilled a couple of holes in the stock bumper, stuck the thing through there, put some hot melt glue on the back of it. It looks like a completely different bumper. It's pretty sweet. Nice little, I mean, you look at it, it looks like it was made that way. You can't even tell. So there's just a little hack from the Motor City RC Attack channel. I want to say thank you for tuning in, and maybe this little trick will work, maybe it won't, but I guess we'll find out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment if you think that was a good idea or not, or maybe if you've tried it before, I don't know. But everybody, hope you're doing well. Stay healthy. Merry Christmas.